Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a kind of like mini review of Only Friends. This was my most anticipated show of the year and I was quite happy with how it turned out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I looked forward every Saturday to watching it with my friend, and we would just lose our minds every single Saturday and get progressively more distraught and angry at all of the characters' choices. But I wanted to make a video that wasn't like psychoanalyzing, because as much as I loved making the ones that I did, it just takes so much time, and I just thought this would be a fun kind of quick thing I could throw together. So I've broken it up into 3 categories. I'm calling it the good, the bad, and the mediocre. I'm gonna start with the bad, just so you know. Bad news first, good news last. I feel like that's a solid way to do it. So yeah, hello. If you can hear that, it's my cat purring. So number 1, this is probably gonna come as a surprise to absolutely nobody who watched the show, but I don't, why did they add Boeing? Like, it's like one of those things where you get it, like I get it because more drama, but also they could have had more drama without ever actually adding him in, kind of thing. I don't like that he took time away from the already established characters. Could have like dived a bit deeper into character storylines, but they took that time away and gave it to Boeing, and I'm like, well, like I still enjoyed it, and he had me fully screaming and punching the floor. So, I mean, he successfully did what he was meant to do, but also I kind of wish that he hadn't been there at all. Number 2, Chun. I'm not sure if this is a hot take or not, but Chun was such a throwaway character, in my opinion. Girly does nothing. All she does is stir the pot and then get super, like, shocked when her friends are fighting. Like, girly, use your brain for once. Stop inviting over the people who you know your friends are fighting with. And also, like, all she does is yell. Number 3, Adam. So the man literally accuses someone of SA, comes clean about lying about it, and then suffers 0 consequences? That's literally life-ruining shit. And I honestly think it was one of the worst decisions they made plot-wise. I think they could have just kept it as him being confused and upset with Boston for sleeping with him. They did not need to add in the SA accusations. I don't get why it wasn't necessary. It was completely unnecessary. I don't understand why they did that. But, moving on. Number 4, Nick and Dan. I thought they were really cute, and I think that Dan could have been good for Nick and could have helped him heal from Boston. I get that Nick isn't ready for that, blah, 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 but he's there for like 3 seconds, and then they just nope out of it. And I think it's wasted potential. I think if they wanted to have Nick rebounding, they should have just had him rebounding, just like at the bar. He could have just met this random dude named Dan and been like, hello, person. And they could have had it like that. I don't think it was necessary to have it be his boss specifically. I think that's a weird dynamic, and I didn't, But yeah, that's all for the bad. Moving on to mediocre. So for mediocre, I really just mean things I think they could have improved on. So number 1, I think they could have and should have done so much more with Ray's rehab storyline. I do appreciate they even had one to begin with, but the way they went about it was lackluster to me and honestly downright confusing a bit. I don't want to like go too far into it, because then I'll just info dump all about like addiction and stuff, and that's not what the purpose of this is for. But I think because addiction and like treatment, rehab is such a tough topic to address, I think they should have put a bit more care into how they did it, if that makes sense. But yeah, just overall, I wish they had taken more time with that. Number 2, this is still about Ray. Apparently I have a lot to say about Ray. Was anyone else like really mad that Ray always got away with his shitty actions? Because I was. I think he should have suffered more dire consequences for some of the things he pulled. Not only like as a way to literally force him to learn, which is what he needs, but also I think would have been good if he suffered more consequences, because it would send the message to the audience about the dangers of drug use and addiction. And I think that's an important thing to send, because although they kind of have that, because it's like, oh, you know, driving while under the influence is super dangerous, you could have cost someone their life, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. But again, like, he pretty much gets off scot-free. He just has to do some community service. And I think he should have suffered a greater consequence. But also, with that in mind, I don't know how the system in Thailand works. So I don't know if there would have been greater consequences. But that's besides the point. Number 3, my last two are a little bit nitpicky, I will say. Mew confronting Top on his birthday. I really do wish they had included the take where Mew was really angry and confused, rather than, like, more just, like, sad and confused. If I can find the clip, I'll link it below. But I think it would have hit so much more, and I really live for that emotional pain, you know? I'm an emotional masochist. I want you to absolutely destroy me, and I think Mew screaming at Top would have just really been a guttural punch. Ugh, I do wish they had included that. Number 4, this is my most nitpicky thing and it's been bothering me this, like, for the last, I think, 3 episodes it was bothering me. And it's Mew smoking a cigarette for the first time. Just stay with me here. I have never in my life seen someone take their first drag of a cigarette or any other, you know, type of smoke and not choked on it. And he just takes a puff and he's like, this is kind of nice. And I'm like, at least cough a little bit. Like, he just takes a drag and is like, yeah, I'm super experienced with this. And I'm like, no, you're not. And then also on that same idea, I don't have experience in this realm, but, just assuming, I feel like when you snort something for the first time, it would warrant a greater reaction, because stuff going up your nose doesn't feel very good. And I would assume that powder going up your nose would kind of burn, and he just goes, oh, I don't really feel much. And you're like, sir? But yeah, those are my 2 really nitpicky things. So for the good, there's a lot more I could have added, but I'm just going to stick to the 5 that I did. So for number 1, Nick and Sand. Oh my god, I would literally die for them. They were my ult endgame as friends, not romantically. I am very glad they didn't try to make them do anything romantically, but I did think the, like, camping scene was super cute and funny. You know, it's the 2 best friends in a room. They might kiss. Yes, we will. 10 out of 10 friendship. Would die for them. And on the same wavelength of friendship, the friend group. I've seen a lot of discourse online about people not liking the, like, main friend group, and like most, like, the biggest criticism is that they don't, like, they've said they've been friends for 4 years, they're all in the same department, like, same study, but they don't really feel or seem to be that great of friends. And in my opinion, I think that's the point. I mean, the entire series is just toxicity. If they were, like, the closest friend group in the entire world, I don't think this much shit would have happened with them. It's the fact that they aren't that all of this could happen, I think. I think it also might just be that I understand the dynamic. They seem to be, like, quote-unquote friends by proximity, aka, like, school friends, people that you just hang out with so that you have someone kind of thing. I've been in a group like that where it's like you call each other friends and you know, hang out, like, every single day, but you know that, like, all of you kind of don't like each other and that you're only staying friends for the sake of just not being alone, basically. And it's a terrible dynamic and I do not recommend it. And if you're in that situation, Godspeed to you. But yeah, no, I think that the friend group was great in, like, the worst way possible, because if they were really, really close, really good friends, I don't think 90% of the shit that happened would have happened. Number 3, I'm putting this in the good, even though it's the thing that made me the most angry throughout all 12 episodes, and that's Ray. The toxicity of him, to be exact. I despise him so much. Like, given the chance, I would hit that man with my car and then just reverse forward, because he makes me so mad. He's literally a piece of shit, and that's why I love him. He's super manipulative. He's just he's narcissistic. There's all these things that also, because we all know I'm a psychology nerd, I hate him. I haven't felt this much disdain towards a character in a very long time. Number 4 is Boston. Kind of on the same topic as Ray, I freaking hate him. And I love him because I hate him. I know a lot of people wanted more about his background and why he is the way he is, and in my opinion, a lot of the online forums really just wanted trauma porn from him, which is gross. I think that if the idea that you need to have some like big, massive, traumatic backstory to explain why you behave the way you do is just it's gross. It puts like a bad taste in your mouth, because it's just gross. I love that he's a mystery and that he doesn't have some like traumatic backstory that made him the way he is. And honestly, his character made me interested in looking into the psychology of someone who's like a sex addict, because I just think that's interesting, because I don't know how that person's brain would work. I wanted to like understand more, and if that interests you at all. I think it is a very interesting thing to look into on like to get a better understanding of his character, and also any sex-related disorders are very stigmatized. So I think, if you really liked Boston and you thought like you want to understand why he does things the way he does things, I think it's worth it to look into. And then lastly, number 5 is Top. He sent me through so many freaking emotions. Like, I started off being like, I don't know how I feel about this guy. He seems really sketchy. And then I was like, see, I was right. And I really hated him and continued hating him for a bit. And then he just like, all of the emotions, the roller coaster, dude. I was all over the place, and then ended it. And I was like, how is he the character that I am like, yeah, you. I freaking love you. I think his redemption arc was super well done. I really love his growth and just how he tried to better himself after his fuck up. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, that's my like mini review of Only Friends. Who knows if I'll make any other videos about it. I have a lot of thoughts about it, and of course it sent me down another rabbit hole of research, but I don't have enough brain cells to make another 30-minute video of psychology, because I am doing poorly in university currently because I keep avoiding doing my classes. So, anyways, let me know what you think down below. And yeah, I don't know how to end this. Drink some water. Bye.